Okay, so Smackdown was a few nights ago. So all this was to build up to Brock Lesnar coming back for next week over his his suspension indefinitely over the last week when he literally decimated everybody, even the GM, and ripped off Adam Pearce's pants over two F5s. That was an entertaining segment and a cool ass send off for Brock Lesnar. And bringing it over again of Paul Heyman being accused as why is his suspension that was supposed to be indefinite so shortened. That was the only interest I have on SmackDown. Yeah, that's technically it. They're not doing shit for the rest of the show because this brand split is not subduing any overarching stories. I mean, the only thing that we had that was different was Ridge Harlan and Cesaro. We had McIntyre tagging with Jeff Hardy to face off against Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin. Or Happy Corbin. And we had an invitational battle royal. McIntyre coming over backstage over Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce being like, I want to be in this battle royal and I hope I get the invitation. How come you don't just say the rest of the SmackDown roster gets a shot for the WWE Universal title? What's with this enclosed disfavoritism to one of the more popular stars? Like, what did Drew McIntyre do? And they even tried to glimpse like, oh, why don't you like Naomi? Because I hate black people. Is it because she's a two-time SmackDown Women's Champion? Like, that's gonna make Sonya Deville lose sleep? So, that's the extent of drama that we have over the show. They even recapped the segment over that happened back in Survivor Series when Becky Lynch, over a screwed roll-up, people liked the match. Hope they did. It was certainly a good match when I heard from many other people on YouTube. And it came over to Charlotte Flair discussing over an interview with Michael Cole over the disappointment of coming up short back in Survivor Series against Becky Lynch. And saying that she's ready for another contender for the women's title. And then as soon as Toni Storm trying to interrupt the interview, she's saying there's levels to this, and it ends with Toni Storm looking like a goddamn noob. Seriously, and this was coming after the Boogs and Angel match from before. So the crap wasn't even left over the ring, and it made Toni Storm look like a complete afterthought. It made her look like a jobber. You're not trying to extend anybody to have any personality. When Charlotte Flair is like in her 30s, yes, she looks like she's in her 40s as a 20-time women's champion. And Toni Storm just coming there looking like a goddamn chump. I'm not a fan of that. Like, that's not a way how to actually get guys over. Then there was Boogs versus Angel Garza, with Boogs obviously getting more over than the Intercontinental Champion that I forgot was the Intercontinental Champion. It ends over distraction with the guitar over from Humberto, ending in a wing clipper to Rick Boogs, with actually the heels getting over. So it's obvious that they're trying to push over a tag team match, and don't know if they're going to be forging over Nakamura getting for the IC title. Or this is supposed to get Boogs over. They're possibly going to split up in under 3 months, so I'm not really expecting much from this team. And it's just looking weaker than ever when you keep doing these gimmicky holiday matches just the day after the holiday already ended. Like, that was during Black Friday. It's like, oh, we need a Thanksgiving match to bring more wackiness over to the gimmick. Oh, I love when WWE does that. It makes it look kiddish, even though they don't know what identity they want. And that's what makes watching the show so amazing. WWE is so inconsistent with that. It's hilarious. Then we had, excuse the snorting up, I've caught a bit of a cold. Cesaro versus Ridge Harlan, or one of the lackeys or proteges to Sheamus. So Sheamus has a bit of feud with Cesaro, and it's issued over Ridge Harlan going one-on-one with Cesaro, and this is possibly going to happen for the next couple months because there's no real variety you can have in these shows anymore because we keep firing anybody, and Vince can't think of any other ways for wrestlers to look important. anymore. Holland came over, getting caught off guard after getting too cocky with Sheamus over in commentary. It was catch over with a big boot. Cesaro come over doing the offensive. It ends with a roll up. So it's obvious that they're going to continue over this feud. It's like everything just looks always on constant until they make it don't feel like there hasn't been any feuds that end like they had a well-deserved conclusion. That's been a problem with Smackdown and Raw. We even had Jeff Hardy versus McIntyre and Madcap Moss and Corbin, ending with a Claymore kick plus a Swanton bomb. And the fans were actually enjoying it. Sasha Banks even tried to point the blame over backstage, involving her tag team partners, kind of ruling against them. Ruling against her and costing her an elimination for Team SmackDown and putting the blame over to Sonya Deville. So then they issued over to a tag team match and nobody gave a shit about. Luckily, it was not the main event. Naomi faced off with Sasha Banks, where Naomi actually got over against Natalya and Shayna Baszler. And it ended with a pin over Naomi off a save off a backstabber. Sonya Deville coming over and actually applauding Naomi over the victory. Obviously issuing to the non-interesting conflict with the authority figure and the wrestler, because women authority figures never show to be entertaining other than Vicky Guerrero, and it's for the wrong reasons. And you can appoint any storyline with Vicky Guerrero, even though she wasn't even considered eye candy. They were manipulating her off using her feelings, and that's how they got over. And it got over more family ties. There's no drama involving me seeing a women mid-carder feud with the authority figure. There's nothing to lock up over Sonya Deville because she has no legitimacy to her. She's just a dyke MMA fighter with no charisma. I don't like Sonya Deville. I find her alright. That's all I can extent, because she's not a heel. She's just a heel for the meantime until they find her a reason to make her feel likable. Because, oh my god, did you just came out on a live stage? Oh yeah, you're gonna be a star. Oh my god, I'm sorry, my nose is running. So, that's literally how it ended over the drama. There was also Kayla Braxton causing, getting verbally assaulted by Paul Heyman, calling her a lack of an announcer, going over her social media takes and actually being a journalist. And that's how the opening segment came over with the tribal chief. It all started with my wife. When I was coming back as a babyface, she didn't acknowledge me. So, what did I do? I said, acknowledge me to my wife. In the mirror in the bathroom. And then, I forgot that she wasn't in the house. So I celebrated. Next was the Invitational Battle Royal. I kind of wanted Jeff Hardy to win, because if you can at least have a forcible fan favorite that's a veteran that can get over Roman Reigns before they hype up a bit of a twist so we can actually get some excitement, because not really there's legit main event talent that you can force over organically to be in the main event scene, other than, I guess, McIntyre, that they're probably going to be teasing for a long while. McIntyre, like Sheamus said, like a little dickhead. You didn't make the cut, Drew. You didn't make the cut. Obviously showing that there's some ill will between the authority figures and McIntyre, even though he consistently is on TV. So he comes over with a damn sword, getting everybody out the damn ring. Sami Zayn avoided getting eliminated over just going under the ropes and waiting until the time was right. Jeff Hardy was second-handedly eliminating everybody. So Sami Zayn came out of nowhere and eliminated Jeff Hardy. And now Sami Zayn gets a shot for the world title. Now that's going to be an afterthought because we won't have a pay-per-view until January 1st called Day 1. And it's obviously teasing over the return of Brock Lesnar. So this Battle Royal not even accentuates anything. And this should have went to Jeff Hardy immediately. Tony Storm looked like a chump. Brock Lesnar getting teased over out of nowhere, and him being the only reason why I had to watch the show was borderline BS, because there's no extent of real cost anywhere upon the show. And Tony Storm just looking like a complete J-bro out there, getting flopped over with cake and looking like a jobber. What part of that's gonna make her feel extended if she can't even like get an upside on Charlotte Flair? Like, why? And Charlotte Flair's a bit too overly protected over the company. And this is why we're having a struggle when you have the 4 trans women always trying to get one up, to getting them more TV time, getting them more promotion, whether the most least attractive, least interesting, or least compelling parts of the show. I don't care that they were best friends over in developmental and that's the only storylines you could ever do with them. It's not enticing. And the way the show was constructed, it's just garbage. Hopefully you guys can at least understand my plight of how I even watch these shows. Or the energy that I put even doing reviews like this. Because if that was the way it was going, many other people are streaming, talking about Raw and SmackDown, I'd rather go to that extent over that case. Because just doing these reviews, they just make me go back, rewatch, and recap the garbage that I have to watch anyway. And that takes time to sink over all that in, make my own reasonings, and just lock in my own opinions over a time that I feel suit to upload. And sometimes I don't feel suit to go over Dynamite, Rampage, or Smackdown at this point. Because Smackdown is really mediocre. But that's just me. Thanks for watching.